Good morning, students. Today we will discuss magnetic hysteresis curve. It is the topic in chapter number 5. Okay, or our chapter, the name of the chapter is magnetism and matter. So in this chapter we will discuss the topic magnetic hysteresis curve, and it is a curve. The graph plotted between H and I is called magnetic hysteresis curve. So you can write down the graph plotted between magnetizing field H and intensity of magnetization I is called hysteresis curve. Hysteresis curve. It's called hysteresis curve. So write down. So this is a graph plotted between magnetizing field H and intensity of magnetization I. So you can see at the x-axis the magnetizing field, at the y-axis you can watch the intensity of magnetization. Okay, so there are different points located on this graph. So one by one I will explain you. So first of all, write down this definition. What is hysteresis curve? The graph plotted between magnetizing field and intensity of magnetization is called hysteresis curve. Okay. So now I will explain you this graph. So if you have noted this definition, or it is easy to remember, so I erase these things, and now we will discuss or explain. I will explain this graph first of all to you, and then we will discuss our topic further. So students, look at the board and look at the curve. First of all, when we increase intensity of magnetizing field, then the graph move according to the curve OA. When we increase magnetizing field H, the graph is moving like OA, O to A. It means if we have increased the magnetizing field H, the intensity of magnetization also increases. But after some time, if we will increase the magnetizing field, we will notice that I will not increase. I will constant at some value. This region is called magnetic saturation. So write down. This region is called magnetic saturation. AC, AG. This region is called magnetic saturation. Okay. So write down that if we increase magnetizing field after some value, then the intensity of magnetization will not increase, it will become constant. We can further increase H, but I will not increase. That value is called magnetic saturation. Write down. Number two, now if this graph cannot increase further in the direction of X, because at some value of Y it will become constant. So now if we will decrease the value of magnetizing field H, what we will see? We will see that the graph doesn't return back on the same path AO. We know that the graph moved from path O to A. But when we decrease the value of H, when we decrease the value of magnetizing field, we will observe that the graph will not come back on its original path AO. Except this, the graph will go A to B. We know what does it means A to B. When the graph will move in this way, okay, it doesn't return back its original path AO, else why it has gone to A to B. A to B. Now at B point, we can see in this graph that at B point there is some value of intensity of magnetization. I denotes intensity of magnetization and H denote magnetizing field. So at point B, the magnetizing field becomes 0. At point O, the magnetizing field, observe this point B, at this point H becomes 0, but there is some value of intensity of magnetizing field. Okay, although we have decreased the magnetizing field to the value 0, but still there is some intensity of magnetization left behind in the ferromagnetic material. That I have told you earlier that this curve, the magnetic hysteresis curve, is made for ferromagnetic substance. Okay, ferromagnetic substance. So at this point, although the magnetizing field is 0, but there is some intensity of magnetization left behind in the material, ferromagnetic material. This part OB is called residual magnetism, because it is left after the H becomes 0. So this OB, okay, I will write here magnetic saturation AG, okay, and OB, BO is residual magnetism. Okay, what will happen after this point? Now if we will increase the value of magnetizing field in opposite direction, point O to C, you can see in this diagram that if I will increase the value of magnetizing field H in reverse direction or in opposite direction, then at point C the intensity becomes 0. Okay, again I will repeat, after point B, if we will increase the value of magnetizing field in opposite direction, at point C the intensity becomes 0. At this point, observe this point C, at this point intensity is 0, whereas there is some value of magnetizing field H in negative direction. This OC is called coercivity. Okay, I will write down here, OC is called coercivity. So how can we will define this point coercivity? The negative value of magnetizing field which is required to put the intensity 0 is called coercivity. The negative value of magnetizing field required to get this value I0 is called coercivity. Write down. Now look at the graph again. If I will further increase the value of H, okay, I will further increase the value of H and I, the graph will move in this way. Okay, if I will increase the value of H and value of H, then I will increase in this way. After a certain point, it will again be in saturation mode at point D. If after the point D, if I increase the magnetizing field H in opposite direction, I will see that intensity will not increase. That part Kd is also called magnetic saturation. Write down magnetic saturation. So if I increase H in negative direction, this is the negative direction of H. If I will increase H in negative direction, intensity also increases in opposite direction, but after some point, that point is D. After that point D, if we will increase the H magnetizing field, intensity will not increase. So it again will get in the mode of saturation. Okay. Then what we will do? Again we will decrease the value of H. This side the increasing value of H in negative direction. Now we will decrease the value of H in negative direction. When we will decrease the value of H in opposite direction, negative direction, we will decrease the value of at certain point. Suppose at this point, and name this point E. Name this point E if we have not marked in this diagram. At this point, the intensity or the magnetizing field H, at this point the magnetizing field H is 0, but we can clearly see that there is some value of intensity of magnetization at this point. The intensity will not become 0 at this point, whether the H is 0. So this part OE is again, it is called residual magnetism, that we have already written on the board. Residual magnetism, OE is also residual magnetism. Then we again increase the value of H. After some point, it will at point A, it will on the saturation mode, and the graph will repeat itself. So this is called magnetic hysteresis curve, and this loop will complete itself again and again. So we can define certain things. Now you can write down in your notebook the definition of all these things. Okay, write down. I will repeat the definition one by one. Okay, so write down. First of all, write the heading residual magnetism. Write the heading residual magnetism, and write the definition. The value of intensity of magnetization, left behind in the material after the magnetizing field becomes 0 is called residual magnetism. It is also called retentivity. I will repeat it again. When the value of magnetizing field H becomes 0 at the time the intensity of magnetization left behind in the ferromagnetic substance is called residual magnetism. Write down. Now I will define the second one, coercivity. Write down the definition. Okay, start. The negative value of H, the negative value of magnetizing field H, or the value of H in opposite direction, which is given to the ferromagnetic substance, so that intensity of magnetization becomes 0. That negative value of magnetizing field is called coercivity. Write down. Again, the negative value of magnetizing field H, which is required to put the intensity at 0, is called coercivity. Third one, magnetic saturation. When we will increase the value of magnetizing field, the intensity of magnetization will also increase. But after some time, at a certain value, if we will increase the magnetizing field, the intensity of magnetization of that substance will not change. this point is called magnetic saturation. Write down one by one. And this loop A, B, C, D, E, A, loop A, B, C, D, E, A is called hysteresis loop, is called hysteresis loop. Write down the loop ABCDEA, ABCDEA is called hysteresis loop. Okay, so now you have just understood, I think, all the definition and all the terms that we have used in this graph, and you have also observed that why we just make this graph like this, because of the reasons of these points: coercivity, residual magnetism. So make this graph and write the definition. All definitions I just speak for you. I think you have already written in your notebook. So now I have defined all the points: residual magnetism, coercivity, and magnetic saturation, and I think that you have already noted down in your notebook. Now what is hysteresis? What is the meaning of hysteresis? Write down meaning of hysteresis. Meaning of hysteresis. So one more point: hysteresis. We can define this point also. Write down. Write down. I will tell again this definition for you guys. So write down in your notebook. Hysteresis: the lagging behind. Write down the lagging behind of intensity of magnetization by magnetizing field is called hysteresis. Write in your notebook: the lag of intensity of magnetization, or the lagging of intensity of magnetization behind the magnetizing field is known as hysteresis. Okay. Okay, so I think that you have written. Now we will study another topic. So pause and make this curve in your notebook. Okay. Okay. Magnetic hysteresis curve. Now, magnetic hysteresis curve. So, write down some important points. So, you can write points to remember. Points to be remembered. First, points to be remembered first. This, or I will define one more term, then I will write these points. So you can write this graph is this graph represents hysteresis this graph represents hysteresis loss if curve is narrow, then losses are minimum, losses are less, and if this graph is broad, then the losses are more. Second important point, for hard, steel and iron, this graph is broad, which represents more loss, and for soft iron or steel, this graph is narrow. This graph is narrow. Which shows less losses. Okay, because of this reason, in transformer, the core of transformer is made up of soft iron and soft steel. So we know that in transformer the core is made up of soft iron, because in soft iron the hysteresis loss are minimum, the hysteresis loss are less. So we use soft iron to make core of transformer. Write down this point. Now what is hysteresis loss? Now you will just confused about this term. You know, hysteresis, the lagging behind intensity of magnetization by magnetizing field is called hysteresis. But what is hysteresis loss? So you can pause and write down. Okay, so I will erase it and define the hysteresis loss for you. So the next term is hysteresis. The next term is hysteresis loss. Hysteresis loss. In the series of continuous magnetization and demagnetization, write down, in the series of continuous magnetization and demagnetization series of continuous magnetization and demagnetization, the loss of energy, the loss of energy the loss of energy is called hysteresis loss. Hysteresis loss. Okay, so write down this definition. Okay friends, so students, example, hysteresis loss, and you can write that okay, what is the hysteresis loss? So first of all I will tell you the hysteresis loss. So when a current is passing through a conductor, when a current is passing through a conductor, what will happen? Then according to Oersted, there is a magnetic field created all around that conductor. So if the current will become zero at once, the magnetizing field also decreases and reduces to zero. But in this hysteresis curve, what we have observed, that if we magnetize a material because of any reason, if a material is magnetized and at once we want that at the time, if we want to demagnetize this substance at once, so that the intensity of magnetization in that substance will become zero suddenly at a point, it is not possible. Again I will repeat it for you, that if current is passing through an object, or it will get magnetized, or the substance will get magnetized due to any reason, suddenly the magnetizing field, we reduce the magnetizing field to zero, and we want that the substance will get complete demagnetized at once. This condition is not possible. We have seen in this graph that there will be some intensity left behind in that substance after the magnetizing field will become zero. The magnetizing field becomes zero, there is some intensity left behind in the material. So it is not possible to magnetize and demagnetize the substance at once. You can magnetize, but it will take some time to demagnetize. If you want that at once you demagnetize the substance, that is not possible. There will be some residual magnetism left behind in that material. Okay, so the amount of energy, the substance takes some amount of energy at the time of magnetization, it doesn't deliver the same amount of energy at the time of demagnetization. So in this process there is some loss of energy. So write down the energy given to the material during magnetization, the energy given to magnetic, the energy given to substance at the time of magnetization substance at the time of magnetization is slightly more than the received energy is slightly more than the energy that we received at time of demagnetization. Okay, so because of this reason there is loss of energy, that is called hysteresis loss. एग्जाम्पल लिख सकते हो. एग्जाम्पल, for this reason the core of transformer is made up of soft iron. So I have told you this point already, that the hysteresis curve is narrow for soft iron. It means in the magnetization and demagnetization, the loss of energy is less in soft iron as compared to hard iron. Okay, so we will use soft iron to make the core to reduce the hysteresis loss, because in soft iron it is easy that if it will get magnetized, then after some time or in a few time it will get demagnetized. But in hard iron, we know that hard iron is used to made up permanent magnets. So if it will get magnetized, then the residual magnetism remains in that substance for a longer time, whether in soft iron it will remain for a short time. So soft iron, in the process of magnetization and demagnetization, in soft iron the loss is minimum, so we use soft iron for making the core. Okay, so write down a formula which is useful for you. Energy loss per second. If there is some energy loss, then we calculate that what is the value of energy loss per second. So I will write it for you. Okay, pause and write down all the points. What is the next point? Energy loss per second. In hysteresis, energy loss per second defined by a formula. You can write it: volume of substance into area of IH curve into frequency. Volume of specimen, जो भी substance, the substance which we have taken, iron or steel, volume of specimen into area of BH curve into frequency how many times the substance is magnetized and demagnetized. So that is the frequency. So you can write down Q is equal to V into A into N. Q, energy loss per second, is equal to volume into area into frequency N. But the answer will be in the joule. This answer will be in joule because heat is the form of energy. If you want to convert it in calorie, then you can write here divided by J. If this value is divided by J, then the answer will be in calorie. Answer will be in calorie. Okay. So the next one is this formula, and you will require this formula when studying this topic or doing numerical of this topic. So that's all for now for this lecture. That was the hysteresis laws in magnetic substances. Basically, this hysteresis laws is observed only for ferromagnetic materials, and I hope that you will understand, you would have understand this graph or the theory and formula with the diagram. The curve is clear to you. Okay, so that's it for this lecture. We will again meet in some another topic in some another lecture. Thank you very much.